Hey, Mr. Gronsky here. Today we're going to be watching Only in Sleep, performed by the West Orange High School Choir from Winter Garden, Florida. Now, before we dive into this video, I just want to kind of explain some of the rationale why I'm filming this video. Over the years with my choirs and with my classes, I have shown videos very similar to this one. And actually, I've shown this video to some of my students in the past, and I love showing real life recordings of ensembles performing pieces of music because it's a great way for students to kind of see outside of their own ensemble, to see outside of their own classroom, to get a different experience. But the real reason that I'm now including myself in this this video is I want to add some commentary to this because it is very easy to watch these recordings and just let this music just kind of fly over our heads. We tend to miss out on some of the artistic nuance in these videos. So as we watch this video, I'm just going to basically comment on different choral and vocal technique aspects that are highlighted in this piece of music. And also for you as the listener, I want to challenge you to listen maybe more carefully or deeply to this piece of music. My goal in creating this video and other videos is to get other listeners out there to appreciate the beauty and depth of choral music and music in general. There's so much media and content and music and just sound that just bombards us daily. And I kind of want to break through the noise and hopefully get us to appreciate the beauty of this music in a greater way. Now, today's video should be pretty easy to do that because this is actually one of my all-time favorite performances by any choir, from the way it's filmed to the way it's performed. There's just so much to take in from this video. So let's dive in here. I'm just going to show you my screen here. Now, right off the bat, some things to take note of. So even in this shot from the piece of music that I believe, I think this music was on their piano, you could see here, oh man, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 flats. Yep, that means we are in the key of G flat. And you might think from a composer's perspective, and our composer here is Eriks Essenvalds. He's a Latvian composer. You might think, why in the world would someone write in 6 flats? That just sounds, that sounds crazy. Well, there's a number of reasons. And again, hopefully this will help us appreciate this music on a deeper level. Well, composers tend to write in keys that fit the voicings of their choir. But there's other reasons too. I as a composer myself, I know when I've written music for choirs, sometimes there's something about the way a melody works in a particular key. So in this piece of music, even before we listen to it, so right there, that's G flat, and you're going to hear this melody being played, and it sounds beautiful in G flat. But you know what? Even if I were to play it maybe a little lower, like a half step lower in the key of F, you can hear the same melody. Still sounds great. So why in G flat? Why not just lower it? And then you avoid 6 flats. I will say this, even just playing this on the piano in G flat, it has a particular character and feel, even when just performing it on the piano. And that's something that even as a vocalist singing in a choir, you may not think about from a composer's perspective. I'm assuming that Eriks Essenvalds is a pianist, and I'm assuming that the character, in even just the way that he created this piece, it kind of fits in playing on the keyboard, because for those of you who don't play the piano, G flat, because there's so many flats in it, you're playing a lot of the black keys. And again, that just adds another perspective to this piece of music. In any case, I think that's enough of an introduction. Let's dive into this performance by, again, the West Orange High School Choir. right, so we have to pause it here. Let's talk for a second. If you were wondering right now, why in the world, why are these vocalists standing like this? You could see that their feet are spread apart. Their hands are in front of their core, and they're moving their hands out away from their body as they sing. Well, an interesting little bit of inside information here. The teacher who is teaching this class, and you're going to see him in the video in a second, Dr. Jeffrey Redding. He is actually a Grammy Award-winning teacher. And yes, they give out Grammy Awards for teachers. If you want to nominate me, no, I'm kidding. I'm not exactly sure how that process works for nominating teachers for Grammy Awards. But I looked up an interview on Dr. Jeffrey Redding. And what's really amazing is not just him talking about music and talking about his philosophy and approach to teaching a choir and teaching music, but the amazing thing was to hear his students and to hear how his students really opened up about how Dr. Redding really instilled a love and appreciation for music. Some students were saying, like, I found my identity singing in a choir. And this, again, is one of the reasons why I want to make this video. If you happen to be a student out there or a teacher and you've never sung in a choir like this. This is a talented choir that we're listening to right now. If you've never had that experience of singing all together in a unified group, and not just singing like, an easy, happy birthday, some melody in unison, but when you are artistically and intelligently singing your part in the grand scheme of a whole big group, it is an almost indescribable feeling. It's not just emotional. It's a physical feeling, because you feel your body singing particular notes, particular harmonies in a group of dozens, if not maybe hundreds of people. Speaking of Grammy Award winning people, my own mother actually, in the church that I grew up in, the Brooklyn Tabernacle, she sang in that choir. She's won multiple Grammys actually in singing in the Brooklyn Tabernacle choir, and it's been a great experience for me to sing I actually sang in their youth choir growing up. But the experience of singing in a choir, if you have not had an experience of singing in a really talented choir, is definitely worth exploring. And again, this is a great video because it's a window into it's kind of seeing behind the curtain of really talented choirs if you haven't had that experience. Let's keep watching here.
Forward breath.
There's Dr. Redding right there. Directing them. Beautiful.
Yeah, pray.
Time is forgotten. What may have come to them? Who can know?
Pray.
Yes, we played last night as long
Yeah. Some other things to take away. So again, this motion that you see here, how they're kind of standing with their arms and exhaling into the note. There can be a lot of reasons why these students are doing this. More than likely, again, let's take a look here. More than likely, they're standing with their posture, with their legs apart. It's actually a posture of strength, and also I'm probably more than that. I'm guessing that Dr. Redding is trying to get them to focus on their diaphragm, on their core, and letting their sound powerfully extend from that core that's supporting their breath, supporting their overall sound. Now, if you're wondering, I want you to take a guess. What do you think? What do you think is the reason why they're going like this and moving their hands away from their body as they sing? Okay, so let's watch a little more, and I just want to think about it. See if you can figure it out.
The praise is always moving. That's a
Wow, that's pretty low. Oh, all the way down to G flat below middle C for ladies. That is pretty low, but they very resonant and very supported. But again, think about why are they extending their hands like that?
Always praise and nothing is standing still. Crescendo. Move that breath. Breathe together.
So you saw it right there. Hopefully that gave it away a little bit. So why do you think that they are doing this motion with their hands? Specifically, it's actually a great physiological reminder of your breath. This happens so frequently, especially in choirs. It's very easy to lose consciousness of your breathing because you're just breathing at the same time as the person next to you, and consequently, depending who you're standing next to, sometimes you could be breathing at the wrong times. But by physically doing this with your hands, it's almost like reminding your body of, oh, I am exhaling right now, and now I'm making a concerted effort to make sure I am inhaling enough for that next phrase. Now, what is a phrase? A phrase is kind of like a musical sentence, right? And by doing this deliberately, again, it's helping the performers to be more aware of their musical lines. It's adding strength, supporting their tone. It is a great technique, and actually, I have performed Only in Sleep with my high school choir. I think this was like 2 years ago, and we actually did this. We did this technique of again taking a breath in, and it's something you have to be committed to, because to be honest, you look at this video and it's not you're not looking any cool for doing this. However, this is where you get this incredible sound that you're hearing from this choir. Let's keep going here.
You're doing choreography. Sit down. Start with crescendo.
Louise comes back with the brown hair braided, honey with ringlets worn.
Praise is moving. Praise is moving.
So good.
Crescendo here.
Time is forgotten.
Move the praise. Move the praise.
It's so good. Okay, I'm getting like chills just watching this. And I purposely I have seen this video, but I haven't watched it all the way through in quite some time. So good. Now, specifically, what is good? Well, in Only in Sleep, there's several sections, several phrases where I believe Eric's he has these dotted slurs in the music where it's specifically telling the performers not to breathe at certain points. And again, this is where where this technique of kind of exhaling through your core, using your hands to remind you of your breath, is a great technique, because again, you are very conscious of, oh, I'm breathing. Oh, I shouldn't be breathing now I'm breathing. It's just, again, reminding you about that. But what's beautiful about this phrase is because this group that's performing, I don't hear anyone who's breathing in a wrong area. They sound unified and together, and that is something that is, again, I would argue, and I'm not here to knock any band or orchestra members, or if you perform in some other ensemble, but this is something that is really unique and beautiful about choir, is you have a bunch of people where their instrument is inside their body. So it's super personal, and you are breathing together, exhaling together, even hopefully thinking about the text and the meaning, what the meaning of this piece of art means to you, and literally using your body to create that music, that beauty, and it's just like you hear it. It's just it's amazing. Let's keep going here.
Yes, we play last
Don't lose your energy. Don't lose your energy.
Notice he's like
Where's
basically
the
coaching
body?
them along.
Body.
and the dollhouse stood at the turn of
It's swinging. It's moving.
And again, just to comment on Dr. Redding here, what is he doing? He's coaching them through almost directing the energy of their performance as they sing, which is really having performed under some really, really fantastic choir directors. Some of the best choir directors are the ones who are not like, okay, this is exactly where we cut off and this is your entrance, but they almost coach the choir in feeling the energy of the piece, feeling the momentum of that musical phrase, and you see this group doing this here. Also, one other thing I wanted to note. And having shown this to other choirs in the past, I'm sure that my students have thought for a second, like, wait, what's going on with their mouth? It's almost like they're going too far with dropping their jaw, but because they are fully committed, every vocalist in this choir is 100% committed to, again, following through with the technique and also with their vocal technique. They're getting a very unified vowel, which just adds to, again, to the unity of this performance.
Yes, we played last night as long ago, and the dollhouse stood at the turn of the
The wave of sound, beautiful.
time is forgotten, what may have come to them who
Watch my hands, something.
Yes, we played last
Wow. Okay, so the control and the dynamics there is just, again, when there's no one there in this performance who's, well, for one, they know this piece well enough that they're not looking at their music, but there's no one who is not focused on the director, intently trying to follow the director, not because like, oh, I need to focus on the director because I need to pay attention and participation is an important part of my grade. No. They're focusing on the director because they recognize that this is the best way to create an artistic performance where they're all on the same page, where they're all unified together. And you really, really do hear that. Oh man, it's so good. It's so good. Just the control over the dynamics, my goodness. Yeah, and just before we listen to the rest of this solo, something that I'm thinking about. I can feel the emotion in not just in this performance, but in the way that this was composed. Just leading up to this, yeah, I think it's probably like an E flat minor here. The only in sleep time is forgotten. So that whole line, it's beautiful, but I'm wondering, is it the arrangement of the musical line, or is it the text? Only in sleep time is forgotten. It's like, whoa, it's like this deep poem, and I'm sure that's why Eric's chose this, but he does a great job. The composer, Eric S. Involved, does a fantastic job of showcasing that line, only in sleep. And this refrain keeps coming back, and I'm just wondering, and for those of you watching, what really makes the emotion of this come through? Is it just the fact that this line, "only in sleep time is forgotten," or is it? I think it's all, and like any good piece of music, it's not just the one thing; it's the combination of them all together. It's like a good meal. It's not like that. There's this one flavor that you like, but it's the combination of flavors that really come together to add to the experience. But let's finish this up here. Ugh, the control and the dynamics. And just to comment for the soloist here who's doing a fantastic job. I know that when I watched this performance before I actually looked at the sheet music, I just assumed that the soloist was kind of riffing, like just kind of making up her own part. And it's interesting to actually look at the sheet music, and that's why I'm pulling up right here. In the actual sheet music, the rhythm to this is very specific, which is kind of unique to a part like this, which is just makes it that much more difficult to perform. And she's just doing a fantastic job of performing it. And one last thing I just wanted to comment on, this last line that she says is like just kind of sums up. Listen to the lyrics here. The years had not sharpened their smooth, round faces. I met their eyes and found them mild. Do they, too, dream of me? I wonder. And for them am I? Am I, too, a child? It's like, whoa. Okay, I didn't have time to go into the depths of this. There's bits of nostalgia there, of combining memories, the power of memories, with the power of nostalgia. Just so much to take from this, but it's again the feeling that I'm getting from this, even just watching this, and I think why this piece of music has resonated with my students who have performed this before. And it's a good sign as a choir teacher, as a choir director, when your students come into the class and you ask them like, hey, what are you listening to? And it turns out they're singing along to this. My students really just fell in love with this piece of music when they performed it. And again, it comes back to like, the more you listen to it, it's not just the music itself, it's the whole feeling that's being conveyed in this piece of music, and it's just done so well from the composer to these performers. Notice beginning to end, the choir members are still doing that technique with their breathing. So good. So good. Oh my goodness. So if you're watching this right now, and again, you have never had this experience of singing in a choir, I would encourage you to look this up again. It's called Only in Sleep. And there's different recordings of this on different media platforms, but this is just a fantastic performance, just again as a window inside what is kind of like to sing in a choir that is fully committed to recreating a beautiful work of art. And you really see this. And I hope to make more videos like this in the future. If you have an outstanding musical performance by an ensemble that you would like me to kind of unpack and talk about in the future, feel free to comment below. But again, if I can encourage anyone, choir is awesome. Okay, there's something just beautiful and almost something that's difficult to really put your finger on as to what is this magic that happens when you have a bunch of people singing together, fully committed to recreating something beautiful. And so again, if you're out there and you're not a member of a choir, hey, try and join. Maybe your church has a local choir, or your community has a local choir, or for sure your school. Seek that out, because this experience is something that you can't really duplicate in any other experience in life. So I hope this video was informative and enjoyable. Again, feel free to check out Only in Sleep. Mr. Gronsky here. I'll see you later.